that it's not true that just the white people have the devil and everyone else is fine. Could you not say, hang on a minute, that just by my own logic, that isn't true.
Have you ever heard the term black devil?
No.
Well, they talk about that as well. But because they get heckled when they say white devil, they never get to the point where they talk about the black devil. Yeah. So like I said, I never focus on this because it's a distraction. That's why I was saying never talk about white people.
Our chat went there. It was interesting.
Yeah. Because as soon as you talk about white people, it goes somewhere else.
And I'm not a white person. I understand the context, the historical context of why a black person could even look at me and go, hang on a minute, and have that natural kind of the feeling that I've got devil in me because of what's happened. I understand. I understand the context of that. Right. But I think for someone to say that it's possible that white people are all born devils, it's dangerous.
I never heard anyone say this from Nation of Islam.
No, but I asked you.
No, but I can't answer that. So, for example,
you can't answer that question. That's where the brother was like, hang on a minute, and that's where everyone started scratching their heads.
So if you ask me, does God exist? I would say I would like there to God exist, right? If you say are white people the devil, I would like to believe that white people are not born wicked. I like to believe that. I don't have any biological evidence to say yes or no, right? It's not really an area that I care too much about because what it does, it takes me to focus on white people. And part of white supremacy is no matter what happens, you must always focus on white people, no matter what it is. So if a black man spends 1 hour talking about black impoverishment and how to fix it, and he mentions white misjustice, we're going to spend 2 hours talking about
and you know what? If he said white supremacists are devils, I would probably put my hand up. Well, yeah, you're right. You're right. They are devils, but it's the white man.
Well, this is where me and him differ, right? This is where me and him differ, right? I mean, the nation different. But you have to understand that these philosophers came from a point. And if you were a black man at that point, you would probably be saying what he's saying twice as angry. I know you would, because you haven't been brought up in a situation where you face that kind of persecution. You told me yourself, being a Muslim, right? So, but for me, I would demonstrate an understanding of why people speak this way. But if you ask me, I say the white supremacists are deceivers, right? Now, are all white people white supremacists? That's a topic for another time.
Could you answer that one as well?
I couldn't.
You can't answer that.
Have you heard of a lady called Jane Elliott?
No.
I tend to not use white people as references, but when I talk to other white people, in particular black people, it's necessary for me to talk about white scholars rather than black scholars because people tend to take white scholars more serious. There's a lady called Jane Elliott, and according to her, she's on the Oprah, she does these kind of shows, all white people, by definition, is racist. Right? Because you can't live in a system and not be over it. Yeah, you can't just ignore the system. Sometimes even practicing ignorance could be seen as a form of racism under the system, right? Yeah. So according to her, now I haven't really studied her book, so
and I think everyone's definition of racism is different, isn't it? And people could argue that I'm a racist. People could argue, and I see that. I think you admit there's a difference between being called a racist and a devil. Yeah. If you're standing there saying I'm potentially a devil just for the colour of my skin, then it's slightly different. I don't mind you saying, Jordan, maybe inside because you're white, you're inherently racist.
I don't think,
and I wouldn't get offended with that.
Right.
But if you say to me, Jordan, you're evil because you're white.
Okay, so remember,
and you haven't said that. You haven't said that, but you don't deny that. You don't deny that.
Here's what it is, right? When you say Satan the devil, some people use these terms as a deceiver. Yeah. So on those terms, I suspect that most white supremacists, if not all, are deceivers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, the conversation isn't white supremacists, it's white people.
Remember, it's like if you ever go on a translator and you try to translate English words to Swahili words.
But now you're calling me a white supremacist and a devil.
No, I'm not calling you anything.
Indirectly.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that the conversation I would have is that all white supremacists are deceivers. Now, it's not my job to convince them.
I agree with that.
But it's not my, it's like this. When you move into a new area, do you lock your door?
Yeah.
But how do you know everyone's at his feet? How do you know this?
I lock my area in.
Because you suspect that someone might be, and you defend yourself from being vulnerable.
Yeah.
I would tell all black people you must suspect all white people.
I would never lock my door and say though black people are going to steal, but white people won't.
Hold on.
I would never make that differentiation.
You have to look at power dynamics, and I think it's necessary for all black people to suspect that all white people can practice racism. They might not, but it's best to suspect that they can. If you suspect from that end, then you're always going to try to look out for yourself. When you see something, you see black people, right? Like they hear a tape of someone saying you black monkey, and they're in tears.
Yeah.
And for me, this is not the correct way to behave. Because if you suspect that people outside of you can be racist, then you're never shocked.
Yeah.
So people walk around with this kumbayism where they think that everyone has to love them.
Yeah.
I don't expect that.
And I said to you, I don't mind being called a racist by a black person.
I would never call you this.
No, but even if you did, I have never stood in your shoes. As a black person, you've got different history to me. You've you've got a certain way of looking, and I respect that. Like I said, this whole conversation was the reason why, because we've had good chats. The reason why I think people doubted it was your inability to say that are white people born the devil. And racism is a different issue. If I'm born the devil, that makes me capable of just by the nature.
Where would I get the information? So you go, Jerome, does God exist? No, but where do I get the information?
So how comes I know that you are not born more evil than me? How comes I know that? I know that.
But that's you're upbringing tells you this. My upbringing doesn't tell me.
That's not because I mean, unless you go down the line of not knowing anything, just common sense telling me and my experience of the world tells me that that's not true.
I start this conversation by saying I would like to believe that all people are born innocent, and through the conditions they're in, they become what they are. That's what I would like to believe. I don't even have evidence to back that up.
And I guess for you to be consistent, you're going to have to say that it's possible that black people are born devils.
Yeah, well, there's many black devils.
But you started there. But by being consistent, you have to accept that maybe black people are born devils then, and white people aren't.
Maybe. But then we have to look at the evidence on a collective basis, and you have to go, okay, what evidence are we using to show black people in masses, unprovoked, going around mistreating the world?
I get that. So we use history as an example to show that
someone
I might be born.
Someone might call you a devil just by that comment, because what happens? We start talking, and how the devilish manifests is we start seeing things as equal when they're not. You see, and that's why the only way I can give examples is men and women. Like I said, I'm not intimidated by women, whether they wear hijab or not. I don't think they're going to slit my throat. They might do, but I'm not, because there isn't any mass behavioural patterns of women in hijabs going around assassinating people. Maybe in a movie, I don't know, right? But generally you don't see it. But if I then go to a woman who wears a hijab, I go, take that off, because if I can't wear one, you can't wear one. And then when I see people cover their face, they're ninjas, and they've all got swords, I'm practicing deception, because it's not like for like. So that's what I'm saying, why people might think you might be practicing deception, and therefore you might be a deceiver, and people say that the devil is a deceiver. Now this is all deep stuff. I don't even go down this way. I don't go down this because I'm too busy trying to help.
And to be honest, if you're saying to me it's possible that I'm born into a white society and I'm moulded into that, then I would accept that. But if you're telling me I'm born a devil for being white, I think that is borderline. That is borderline. I'm not going to say hate speech, but that's dangerous.
But these are not ways I speak. I don't speak this way.
No, but you haven't just. The whole question was because you didn't dismiss that.
I wouldn't. Like I said, there are people from religious groups who speak a certain way. Some are Muslim. They are actually technically Muslim, whether they're not, right? Some might be Hindu, some might be Buddhist. When it comes to religious speech, I don't really get involved in that, as I've been very clear. So when you ask me, how do I think about religious speech, I have to reword it. I would say that all white supremacists practice deception. Now, if you're a white supremacist, I don't know, but then I tell people that you should suspect all white people being able to be white supremacists. Because it's possible, right? It's possible that you're a white supremacist.
Are white people born so?
No. Here we go, bro.
Is it actually true that all white supremacists practice deception? Are there no white supremacists that are out overtly racist?
Okay, let me tell you, just by definition, are white people superior to everyone else? Yes or no? I'm not.
How are you framing it?
So in the frame of this, are they more intelligent? Are they birth?
Not in the essence.
In their biology, right?
No, in their biology.
So confess so. You are practicing deception, aren't you? Because it's not true.
Oh, if you say that a white person
because
is better,
because that's what white supremacists think they're better in some kind of way.
But if you actually believe that,
and they practice it,
would that be deception? If I actually believe that my blackness is better than somebody's lack of melanin, would I be practicing deception?
Well, the problem is, here's how it works, right? With white supremacy, right? Even the open ones, at some point, in order for them to get to where they're going, they have to practice deception. They have to lie to in some way to get to where they're going. I mean, this is why every time black people find out stuff, whether it's about the whole Trump thing and all these things going on, it's always, oh man, this is a great secret we just found out. But it's like literally, in order for racists to get to a certain point, they have to practice deception, right? But all I'm doing is I'm rewording something that was said to minimize confusion.
But is it fair to say that any person who's a supremacist, you could say practice deception by your logic? Why is it only a white supremacist?
Well, here's the next step, right? The next step is to you is God supreme.
Yeah.
Is the devil supreme? It can't be, is it? How many supremes can you have? So when you talk about white supremacy, when it comes to collective power, the white collective, the Europeans, are on a collective nature when it comes to dominating the most dominant supreme force so far. right? So if you talk about a black supremacy, you need to show me what they're using to be supreme over everyone else.
Do you believe there is black supremacy?
No, see, black supremacy is a deceptive language. It's what white supremacists use to muddy the waters. You can't have black supremacy. Just like you can't have the supreme God and the supreme devil.
It's this ideology.
Well, you might get some people who believe somewhere along they're superior in something, but that doesn't mean anything. That's like a woman's superior. It means nothing. It doesn't mean nothing.
Well, it does mean
something. Tell me, what does it mean?
How it shifts, then they will enact the same kind of supremacist, systematically racist system that we've been protesting against.
Yeah, well,
but flip it the other way. So,
we don't agree.
So if, for example, someone who had the black supremacist ideology gained power all of a sudden, he would do to others as we can see is going on. For example, in places like Israel, they were supposed to, not in terms of supremacy, in terms of they were being oppressed by Nazis, supposedly. Right? Now, when the power paradigm shifted, right, they did to others, or they are doing to others, what was done to them in terms of
the only difference to that is still the legacy of white supremacy. So the practice that the Israelis are doing and not doing is part of white supremacy. So even though they're mistreated by the Nazi party, they're still practicing white supremacy. Because when you go to Israel, the ones who are most mistreated are the non-white people. Yeah? So it's like, once again, it's how you define white supremacy, right? It's a global thing. But this started by me answering something. I want to answer certain questions. It's not for me to answer.
We had a good chat, didn't it? It went on to there because basically the Nation of Islam, Leo Mohammed, said the white man is shaitan, and he was facing me when he said it. It was kind of a conversation for me, and like I said, it wasn't so much just that bothered me. Like I said, it was the support from other people saying, preach brother. And then when I tried to say to them, excuse me, what do you mean? They went, you wouldn't understand, mate. And I'm like, these guys don't even know me. I mean, firstly, I'm a Muslim, so I was actually listening to another, Nation of Islam. I was trying to learn it from that way. But I was immediately judged and almost felt like, you are, which is why, like I said, we have many chats about black history, and I completely accept white privilege I've had, and I accept all of that side of it. I can understand why a black person looks at me a certain way. But just hearing that you may believe that I'm potentially born a devil, it's quite hard. How can we be mates?
Even if I did believe that, I could be friendly around you. But I don't accept or understand these kind of ways of talking. But that's another thing. It's like, if you want to talk on a deeper level, do I know people who carry guns? Yes. Do I know people who shot people? Yes. Do I know people who sell drugs? Yes. Do I know people who indulge in prostitution? Yes. Can I still be friends with them? Yes. Do I agree with anything they're doing? No.
Sure. Everyone's sins, everyone's bad.
So if you are white supremacist,
that's not what we're talking
I
about.
could be friendly with you. We could engage in some kind of business. We could play Street Fighter 2 or whatever it might be, right? But if your nature makes you wicked, I can't do anything like that. But I don't walk down the road and think of these kind of things.
You know what you're saying, though, innit? You know what time it is, though. You know what the thing about white people are, devils and all this kind of thing.
What about?
You understand what you're saying, though, innit?
Yeah, I understand.
He's
a guy of European descent, and he took offence by someone saying that Europeans are a nation of devils and have done devils.
Yeah. It's an easy cop out. It's a cop out.
Well, I don't know. If someone give me the quote where they say they're born,
I accept we've done.
Because remember, I never got to think like that.
It's not been put
I don't know. I don't know.
It's on one of our last chat. The question.
That generally is the narrative of nations.
And his comment was, we were born. That was what he was saying.
It's an increasingly popular ideology. People that are in
and we can't avoid it.
I understand it. But it's like this, yeah? Let me try to defend it by this way. Because the reason I feel I have to defend Nation of Islam, and they can defend themselves really well, right? And they don't actually need to defend what they're saying. You have to see where the context is coming from. The Nation of Islam came from a place where it was completely separated, right? Black people were killed, lynched, massed, right? There were laws against black people progressing. In that reality came that, you know what? These white people are devils. In that reality.
So contextually speaking, what they've done is
we can understand it, of course.
They're looking at the term and extrapolating that across the whole world. They've said that look like this in Mississippi or Alabama or whatever did this to us. Therefore, every other person who looks at that is inherently capable of doing the same thing. or inherently inclined, even not capable.
Yeah, because technically they are capable, but they're inclined. Yeah.
Everybody's capable of doing it, but let's
Well,
say
well,
specifically
under a system,
these
all white people can practice
historically speaking,
white supremacy. Yes.
yeah, right? So is that a fair thing?
No, so for me, I don't speak on this, yeah? So I can't, once again, I don't have any evidence to, what I can say is, under a white supremacist system, any white person can practice deception and practice white supremacy, yeah? Just like under a male-dominated system, any man can, well, to an extent, right? Because then you start getting other systems of white supremacy where you can get women, you can dominate over black men because of white supremacy, and we see that, right? That's a different thing.
Yeah.
So, but once again, the way I look, it's just me, right? I look at the power dynamics, right, when it comes to being offended. And I'm never offended by minority groups. I'm never offended by anything any woman says.
Do you think I've taken it as like I'm really offended, or are these not fair questions to ask?
No,
If someone stands up and goes, "The white man's devil," as a white man, to go, "Hang on a minute, what do you mean? Am I born it? And that's all I'm doing with. I'm not saying, Raven, don't speak to me. I'm not saying you're a black supremacist. I'm not saying you're racist.
But you have
I'm just asking you the question because you're a reasonable guy.
You said it's hard to be a person's friend if they believe this, they believe that. You start going down this route.
Okay. No, but hang on a minute.
Why are we talking about?
No, but me and my family are white. Me and my family are white. You're basically saying that we are all born devils, or potentially you are saying that's a possibility.
Most man,
I'm
don't
not
think
saying
that.
Can we get this correct? I'm not saying this. Yeah. Remember, you asked me a question, I couldn't answer it, right? Because I don't have any evidence.
Yeah, and I think your lack of answer suggested something.
Well, no, my lack of answer shows you white privilege. That a white man goes to a black man after hearing what another black man says, because I cannot answer the facts and the history, that I must be guilty. That sounds like white supremacy to me. That sounds like... There's enough...
No, because, for example, if ISIS do an attack, right, the rest of the Muslim community is somehow made responsible of condemning those, and I don't have a problem with condemning
I disagree with that as well.
right?
Why should you?
But generally speaking, you should, because these are people that supposedly claim an ideology to be one, right? Now, whether you like it or not, yeah, in the arena of black woke circle and black betterment,
yeah,
that's seen as one of the movements, right? So if you, that's like this, the white people being devils, right? So if you're seen to be in line with people that like have that sort of ideology, and you do not clarify what your ideology is in relation to them, then you kind of can't. Like, you don't need to care, but you can't kind of blame people for thinking that you may also be guilty of having the same sentiments.
So once again, as a black betterment builder, right, I only network with black people on black issues. So I never have to care about non-black issues, because when you start caring about non-black people, how they feel, it takes away energy. Like,
and I accepted that as well. I accepted that last time.
There you go, right? So I will spend more
I'm
time.
not advising you.
Energy to say, Jordan, no, you're not a devil.
But I don't know he's not a devil.
From what you,
How do I know? Listen, how do I know he's not deceiving?
Let me rephrase.
No, but am I deceiving?
Jordan, from what I know of you,
But I
you're
get
not
it.
a devil. Does that take energy from what you know, from what you've experienced from him? Has he given you? Because look, I'm not saying he can't end up being a devil. He may very well be a deceiver.
Hold on.
But
Let me give you the logic, right? I don't like using people's names, but there was an Asian person here who was friendly with many black people here, right? Hugs, kisses, parties, yeah? Next thing you know,
was a
there's a
hug and kiss
recording coming out of this man talking about black women's mums are this, black people like this, right?
That's extreme, though. That's extreme.
No, I think it's
Yeah, but look,
as far as there was hugs, kisses, and parties.
I do get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I
hugs,
get what
kisses,
you're
and
saying. I
parties.
get what you're saying. I get
Yeah,
what you're
so
saying.
I'm saying as a black person, I'm trying to train black people how to think. And one of them is, I gave the analogy, innit? If you move to a new area, not everyone's going to be a thief, but you lock your door.
Yeah.
In the system of white supremacy, it is necessary to suspect that all white people can practice white deception and white supremacy,
So
right?
do I
so
deserve-
you have the.
with that, when we work with that analogy you made, it's like Jordan said, you lock your door. You lock your door to everybody else outside of your home.
Yeah.
Right? That could be a black person, a woman, transgender, could be any of those things.
The analogy comes from being dominated in the concept of white supremacy. That's it. So, like I said, we are no longer focusing on the victims. We are focusing on those who victimize us, you see?
And are you talking about white supremacy as a group, or all white people white supremacy?
I'm talking about the ability to practice white supremacy.
But this came from. Can I just say this came from because, and you tell me if I'm reacting or offended or whatever. So, like I said, I went to watch Nation of Islam.
Right.
I was listening. He was talking about the Prophet peace upon him, and he was talking about hypocrites going to the masjid, leaving. I thought this is quite interesting actually. Then it went on to the white man and how the white man is shaitan, and he made it sound like we were all, and it was actually looking at me as he said it, and there was an interaction. Then there were black people next to me cheering, going, "Yeah, preach, brother," at that comment. So am I not right in thinking, hang on a minute,
Hang on a
I
minute.
want to know, I want to know, do these people believe I am born it, like he's saying? Are they cheering because they believe I'm an oppressor?
Well-
Are they cheering because of my history?
Maybe.
And I think this should be clarified.
Deals, yeah,
I mean, you
clarified,
might say
yeah.
you don't care what I say, but if you get 100 white people and you're saying that to them, that's not going to be, that's not helpful.
So let me-
and you're supposed to be someone that comes up with solutions.
Well, here's what it is, right? Let's try to make it. Let's try to put it out. I said it earlier. I say it again, right? Jane Elliott, you're all aware of Jane Elliott, right? There's a European ancestral lady, right? She says that all people, by definition, are racist because you can't live in a racist system and not practice racism in some way, right? Now I've said, that all white supremacists are deceivers. So if Jane Elliott is saying that all white people are racist, and we are saying that a white racist is a white supremacist, then by her definition, then white people are the devil, right? But I don't to speak that way, innit? I don't know if what she says is
But
correct.
why are you highlighting what she said if you don't believe it?
No, because what I'm saying is we're on a quest for knowledge, right? And right now my focus is helping black people.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of scholars going out there, and I haven't actually sat down, just like I haven't sat down with an imam and really debate Islam properly, right? Maybe if I do, I might become Muslim. Maybe if I debate a Christian,
we
I might-
nearly got you last
maybe,
week.
right?
We nearly
Yeah. So if someone asks me, is Allah correct? I could say yes or no, right? And the same with the whole white supremacy thing, innit? Because right now my agenda is helping black people. Why? Because black people need help. They need the most help. So I don't tend to talk about how white people feel when a person who has a history of violence gone against them says harsh words.
So what you're saying to me, you can say whatever you want free to me, and we'll have decent discussions in the future. You're saying to me, Jordan, that happened. I don't really care what you think. Go away and think whatever you want. Black people need to help themselves, and I'm not going to answer your question.
Well, I never said I'm going to answer your question. I can't answer.
Am I born a devil?
I can't answer that question.
Okay.
It's because I don't have the
But
information.
what is it, Jordan?
Now, here's what you want me
to.
to whiteify the talk, right? Meaning that when you talk to a white person who's gone through certain pain, make them feel good. So
No, I don't want you to make me feel good.
So okay, well,
I want to know exactly what you think.
So what this
If
brother
you
did,
think
what
me
this
and my
brother said
family are
there,
devils, I want to know. I want to know who I'm living with in society.
Yeah, but-
and as a Muslim now, I have black brothers. I want to know, and this is why I come up to you and I try and learn about black betterment. Speaker's Corner is a place where I actually started to open my eyes about black issues.
Right.
And I mean, you might say, why should I care? Why should
Well,
you
this
care
one
what
of
I
them.
say? I quite like dialoguing like this,
Yeah,
and
you can.
I like getting to the
I'm
bottom of
hoping
these
you're learning
issues.
something.
I am
innit?
learning.
And you're not always going to get answers when you talk to someone. You're not always going to get the answer you want. Yeah, you might want the most
Yeah, and
nicest,
if
cuddly answer.
you say to me, Jordan, I believe you're a white devil, fine.
But
Fine, let's end it there.
Yeah,
and
but
and
I've never. If I did believe that, I would tell you straight away. Right? If I believed you were 100% a devil, I'll tell you. That's like if I believe 100% you're not a devil, I'll tell you.
What percentage is it then?
I don't know. Like I said, when the Asian brother was there and we were hugging and kissing him, if I just was to make it by the hugs and
Am I
kisses,
stupid by saying Raven? I believe you're 100% not a devil.
well, how do
Am
you
I
know?
being naive? How would I know?
How do you know that I don't mistreat white people at home? How do you know? How do you know that when me and his brother get behind closed doors, we're just mocking white people there?
So any sin is so racism makes you the devil.
Well, we said.
Any other sin doesn't, but racism does.
Well, racism, as we're defining it,
Because everyone here, I've probably done things that you don't want to shake. You wouldn't shake my hand if you knew I did. But that doesn't make me a devil. It makes me someone that can sin. It makes me someone that's not perfect.
it depends. If in your spare time you're mistreating black people for being black, then by
I'm a devil. But if I'm mistreating Asians, I'm fine.
Well, if you're mistreating Asians for being Asian, then you might still be defined as the devil.
Okay.
Because you will be a white supremacist, and they're saying that white supremacy is the devil. Like I said, maybe you're offended by this concept of being the devil. I understand it. I come from this background.
I think it's the exclusivity of being a white devil, even though being a devil doesn't really have an ethnicity or anything. There are plenty of black devils.
Yeah, I mean, black
there are
devil.
plenty of Asian
You understand?
And you don't believe in the devil either.
No, so I'm not.
So it should be
making this
quite
up.
an easy question. Like, no, I don't. I don't believe in the devil.
No, because if you say the
So
devil.
we're saying evil acts, aren't we? We're actually because
Hold
you
on.
keep going down the religious line a bit, but
Yeah,
what
you
you're-
do. If you say
Yeah, but-
if you say the devil is a deceiver, then I understand what you're saying. If you say the devil is a man with a pitchfork and he flies through the air corrupting people, well, I can't say that.
So you as an atheist, you believe
I'm not an
the
atheist.
devil?
I see once again. You just call me an atheist.
So
An atheist is someone
right?
who doesn't believe there's a God. I don't know.
Fine. You in whatever position you are, what are you then? So
Well, I don't know. I'm a seeker of knowledge.
Okay, you and your don't know.
Yeah.
You and your. That's what I was going to say anyway.
I don't know about God and I don't know about white people being the devil. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not going to come out and go, bam, white people are not the devil, and bam, white are the devil. Right? I meet you as a person. If you're cool, we can hang out, play Street Fighter, drink some mocktails, whatever, innit? Yeah. But like I said, when you go home,
can I ask
you might be
if
bullying
I'm a
this
white,
guy.
let's say I'm a white supremacist.
Yes.
I believe I'm superior to you.
Yes.
In my spare time, I go around mistreating black people.
Right.
What do you mean by me being a devil?
Well,
If you're not religious, what context are you even talking about then?
But remember, this gets clear for the camera. I have never used the term white people are devil.
But you haven't dismissed it. You've gone along with it like we could be.
What?
You've said to me, I won't answer it because I don't know. You could be.
No,
if you're dismissing the devil completely.
Because
then-
I've already said that the only way I understand it is white supremacists are deceivers. That's the only language I understand. I mean, if you go back, I'm saying it 18 times. So I don't understand. So in that context, then yes, white people are capable of practicing white supremacy and deception. So under that context.
So if I'm a deceiver, I'm a devil. So if I do some abhorrent things, other stuff, I'm not a devil.
Well, no. If your devilry, your deceivement is based upon mistreating non-white people based on race and color and creed and so forth.
Okay, that's what the devil is to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a devil, Joe.
But I wouldn't use the term devil. I would say white supremacists.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, when have you ever seen me use angel, devil, jinn, unless it's drinking gin? You know what I mean? I don't use this language. But there is a black collective who do. They're there now. They're there now at the moment. They do.
So why don't you
And
say
yet
to
you
me?
talk to
Why
me-
don't you say to me, Jordan? I don't believe you're the devil, but I believe you could be a white supremacist. And then we'd be like, all right, that's interesting. But you haven't dismissed it.
Because we never got there in the conversation because people would jump in and go, ah! Come on. Emotion. When I see emotion, I usually stand back in.
Have I been emotional?
Not you, but then, like I said, you're a white person.
If I have, I
If you
apologise.
say something, you're going to get every other person jump into being subservient and go, oh my God, you saw it last week, it's on camera, innit? You said, am I a devil? And every non-black person, every non-white person was literally like trying to make you feel good. You have to feel good, yeah? No one's trying to make me feel good, they're trying to make you feel good, yeah? But the history, we look at the collective history, there's more done against black people collectively than white people, but yet, in a conversation about race and racism, the white person has to be made feel good, while the black person has to justify something he didn't even say. I even said I don't
agree,
believe those
and
words.
I don't think you've only now clarified it as a conversation on racism. I think at the time the brothers with me didn't know it was about racism.
That's because
it was
once again,
simplistic.
They were
It
shown
was
subservience.
simple, yeah.
They were shown subservience as
Subservient to me.
Of course. It either happens in the front of the mind or the back of the mind. I don't care whichever way. But anytime you see a white person talk about anything to do with race, you get the race defenders from other collective groups who want to make sure that you feel great. But remember, I'm trying to train black people how to think. When you come with power, the power dynamic, the people you should be most concerned with are the ones who are most mistreated, which is the black people. But no one seems to care about them. So why am I not running up to nation for them saying, oh, don't say that? Because they are part of the most mistreated. Yeah, and I'm not going to waste energy saying, you know when you say devil, people are confused because they're actually trying to stop you from killing.
If I said to you someone was going to stand up and say all the black people are devil, would you believe me if I said I would say to that person you're wrong?
Well,
do you believe me though?
It's fine
do you believe me?
I wouldn't know about this, but what I would say is this, right? When we were speaking, there was a...
Because like I said, they were being supported.
Hold on. When you were,
supported.
I don't know if you were there, but when you were there, a European guy came over and said, Africa's a shithole, whereas Africa's dumb, you're all dumb, you're all stupid, right? Right behind us when they were speaking. I never heard anyone say, European person, don't say this. European person... Just let him be in it. He came, he ran it back, said went away. I'm not gonna say, I don't say names. It's not, show me. I want to see what was actually done.
Were there white people there going, preach, brother?
Well, I don't
Preach,
know. Well,
brother.
there was one.
But I agree.
If there was, there
You're
was.
right. Someone should
If
have
there
called
was,
that out.
no.
Someone should have called that out.
But this should. I'm saying that's what happened, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not going to be emotional because I know that in the world racism exists. So I'm not going to close my eyes and pretend it doesn't, right? But like I said, there has to be a dynamic, and right now the dynamic is who are most mistreated.
That one you're talking about was individual, one person, but other group, 5 or 6 of them.
Like I said,
I said to him one question. I said, don't forget, 500 million Muslims are white around the world.
Yeah.
So me as a Muslim, I'm offended as well.
Well, like I said, for me, I can't do anything for you, innit? Yeah?
No, I'm not
I
saying
can't do
you
anything
to
for your
do
offence. Yeah, it's like
He's
this.
giving a wrong message
Like
to
I said,
Muslims and to non-Muslims.
these are black people who identify as a new sect of, well, they might say a new sect of Islam, but that's to say that is.
Yeah.
There's people calling themselves Hebrews, there's people calling themselves Black Panthers. There's so many. I can't run into each ideology and go,
And you know what,
guys,
this part of your
be
argument,
kind.
because I, like I said, I've said to you before, I do believe I've grown up with white privilege. Being how I am, I do believe people may react differently to me because that is definitely in society, and all that side of your argument I agree with.
Just so you know, some people identify white privilege as white supremacy.
Okay.
Because
If you're accepting it.
Well, because mistreatment cannot be a privilege. Yeah?
No, but if I'm,
Not every white person has even though every white person may have got privilege, right?
Maybe.
Generally speaking, for the lay people, white people of this country, their privilege is really just benefit of the doubt. That black people are not afforded. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's not that they regularly run us down and beat us up. I'm not saying the people don't do that, but I'm saying
Yeah, but you're talking about white extremists. That's extreme, isn't it, right? But it's like, you know, in Nazi Germany, right? There were Nazis who didn't actually try to stop the Nazis, right? This went along with it, right?
well, no, I wouldn't say that.
There wasn't.
No, I wouldn't say they were Nazis. There were people in the country that didn't stand up. They were impartial, didn't
Yes,
affect
but
them. And so
have
they
you heard
stood
it?
back
Have
to the Nazis.
have you heard have you heard this term Nazi Germany? And you know that when Nazi Germany was operating, there was a Nazi flag. So by definition, everyone in there will be Nazi Germans, right? Unless they try to rebel and say, no, we're not this.
See, I don't agree with that. That would be to say that every Syrian
No, I'm not talking.
under the flag of ISIS would be an ISIS Syrian.
the people that were hiding Jews and things like that, are they also under the same?
So, like I said, like I told you to Google John Brown, some people say that if you try to rebel against your system openly, then you are trying to actively not be a part of it. But if you go along with it, you might as well be conceived as the opposition.
What if you do it covertly?
Well, that's different, isn't it? I mean, but you're getting technical now. Yeah. What if a guy, he walks around in uniform,
I'm just
that
saying,
night
there's-
he's
thing is, I can't
he's breaking that
For
corruption?
me, I can't put
Neither
a
can I. Neither can I.
blanket over the whole system, and I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it.
I never would.
To put a
But
blanket-
one thing I can't do is justify and defend other black people's opinions.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I can't do that.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
And
But
I
think
would never
if you-
entertain it.
I think the biggest refutation, for you would just to be, this is what I stand on, and that's that.
Oh, it's on the Black Betterment building. And that's black people helping black people on black issues. I've said it since I've it's coming. Now, why have I said this? Because if you don't do that, all this stuff becomes primary. Then we have to sit around in a room and talk about how do we feel about white people being called devil by a black person. And I'm like, I could be helping you trying to get your maths. Or I could be helping you trying to get a job, rather than talk about how white people feel about a gentleman calling them a devil.
Okay, let me give it's probably the last thing on your mind.
Right.
But what if, by explaining to Jordan or speaking to him and clarifying his doubts, you gain an ally, a valuable ally, who, according to us, would be someone who's an insider, right? He's someone who's white, someone who has received the benefits of the white privilege system. If you can gain supporters from that side, would that not eventually lead to some sort of a schism or some sort of a break in that system?
I would never feel, it's wrong for me to start thinking how a white person can benefit black people, because once again I'll be practicing white supremacy, because I'll be looking for a white person for their solutions, right, where the training is not to do that. Now, we are talking now and confirming right now, right? This is that conversation. The difference is last week we're speaking, we have a whole lot of subservient people going, and I'm like, you know, you're going to have a conversation, we got one person who goes, I am offended. If you start a conversation, you go, I am offended. It's like, where are we going to go? So I'm talking to you, and someone goes, I'm offended. I'm like, what do you want me to do? Well, because someone else said something, you ask my views, and I go, I don't have any information on that. Or because right now, if you ask, I have to go, no, you're a good white person, white people are good, and they've never done anything. So I don't know, innit? It's not my job to defend white people.
I'm
It's
just
your
trying to
job
probe about what exactly you mean.
to prove
So-
they're
so
not a
I-
devil.
so I know where I
It's
am.
your job to prove you're a devil, not my job.
He has to prove he's not a devil.
If someone is accusing you of being a devil, it's your job to prove it. Did I accuse you of being a devil? So why are you asking me, are you devil?
That's fair. But the accusation, for you to say someone should defend it also, the accusation without proof is
Once again, now this is where we get on the next level. The next level, they're saying that collectively, white people have gone around. Now,
you can't collectively make someone responsible that they had.
once again, this is not my argument. It's wrong for me.
Okay, can you understand why it sounds like you resonate with that idea though?
No, I don't say that at all. No, why? I hang around with gangs. I hang around with Salafi Muslims. I'm speaking to people. So I now have to accept everything you're saying? No, I came on my ones, innit? And I said one thing. I'm a black betterment builder. Black people helping black people on black issues. Right. Very clear.
And we don't
very clear.
We don't disagree on that aspect of
now,
black betterment.
Now, in order for me to be a black betterment, that means if I see gang, I have to support. If I see nations, I have to support. Now, am I going to agree with everything gang does? No. Am I agree with everything they're going to say? No. Am I agree with everything you're going to say? No. But as a black betterment builder, it's my duty to help black people. Right. Do you know what I mean?
In doing so, right, does that not mean black betterment? Does that not mean if people come forward with concepts and ideas which are harmful to the betterment of black people?
No.
Right. So
you have to define what is harmful about a black person saying that he believes all white people are devils. You have to tell me what's harmful.
Right. Okay. So
as it pertains to black people working with black people.
So, for example, if someone has a blended family, right, and then, or even as a Muslim, Jordan for me is my brother. Like I haven't seen anything from him, right? I do kind of keep that neutral thing. Not to say that I believe he's going to do something, but people are capable of slips and being good. But as for my standpoint now, I don't have anything to indicate that he's a devil. And as such, as a Muslim, he is someone that I would seek to build with, especially in the arena of black betterment.
Is it okay? So you know there's an Asian individual who practices racism. Yeah. You can still build with him though, right?
No,
you can't.
No,
why can't you?
I cannot. I can't build with someone who his ideology is anti-me. That doesn't make any sense. If someone is anti-black in their understanding, then how am I? Like it would for me, it would even be fake for me to be able to even stand and talk to you like we were bedrooms. Yeah, when I know you've got anti-black sentiment, that I wouldn't be able to do that.
The point you're making that if saying what's wrong with somebody believing the white man's the devil, because why are you even justifying that? If you're saying the whole thing is you're saying you didn't say that to me, and now you're going along the line of justifying why you would say it. That's all right.
No, I wouldn't say it.
You just said to EaSA what would be wrong with somebody believing the white man's the devil.
Yeah.
But you didn't call that. So where's the relevance? I almost see that as a slip up.
No, it can't be a slip up. I'm saying that if a brother who believed that from the nation was here, you know, if they were here, you can still build with him.
So you're saying
just like the Asian community guy who did this, you can still build with him on what it is. Like I said, this concept of having to be someone's best friend, love buddy, a bike buddy, I don't do that. Like I said, I work with people who I disagree with most of the stuff they do. But I understand that we come together and fix something, right? Whether you're atheist, Muslim, or even have anti-views and stuff. You build them where you can. That's what it is. So it's very difficult.
And we don't have to be friends. We don't have to. But I think it's important we can discuss about this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have seen nothing from me interacting with me and you that makes me think that you are trying to harm me.
I promise you, if you turn around and say, Jordan, I believe you're the devil, then we still chat and everything. I'm not being emotional or offensive about this. We're just kind of discussing the idea.
Because you keep repeating, remember. If I believe that, I would tell you.
Okay.
You have to believe that.
No, but it's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Part of my philosophy, and the philosophy I try to train black people is under the system of white supremacy. You have to suspect that all white people can practice white supremacy. They can. Whether they do or not, it's up to them because they're in a position where they can. Just like, why don't you tell your daughter to just walk down a dark alley? Because every man that can practice rape, right? Doesn't mean that all men in dark alleys are rapists, right? But it's necessary because the daughter isn't in a place of power. Now, if she was the Hulk, she can do what she wants. Yeah, but most women are not the Hulk. Yeah, and under the system that we have here, it's necessary to tell your daughters not to walk down dark alleys and to dress appropriately so you're not finding yourself in danger, right? So it's the same thing under a system of white supremacy. It's necessary for black people to understand that all white people can practice deception. So don't leave yourself vulnerable. When I see the Asian, the guys hugging and kissing the Asian community and they find it kind of stuff, I'm like, well, what's going on? You've left yourself open, innit?
And in summary, can I ask your advice in summary for it? So I described what happened to me over there. I described the support people were giving to someone saying I am the shaitan. What's your advice to me? Is it to just sort of say, well, hang on a minute, let them do their thing? Should I be asking you questions? Or should I be concerned at all? Or should I just shut my mouth and go, you know what?
No, what you should do is when the speech is done, and because technically someone is still speaking, I would approach them like you approached me. I would go, can I talk to you about what this means? Because I don't know what it means. And let you say it.
never go, I am offended. And it's like,
I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
No, I'm not saying
Islamically speaking, there's a principle that it's not permissible for you to delay clarification at a time of need. Right? So if someone is saying something fallacious, yeah, it's not appropriate for you to be, especially something dangerous, it's not appropriate for you to be quiet and take that person by the hand quietly. If he's openly disseminating bad information, you have to stop him there and then. So in that case, if Jordan saw that information to be harmful, then would that method that you just told him about, wouldn't it be effective?
Well, he was talking about a guy who he saw was agreeing to the side. He wasn't talking about the main speaker. He said there was a guy to the side who agreed. I said, that guy...
That was my main issue.
Yeah, as he said, right? So I would have approached that guy after the... You know what the brother said?
No, I did. And he said you wouldn't understand. This is not your conversation, he said to me.
No, I can't speak for
I
others.
approached that guy.
Well, you approached me, and I told you as I said.
fine.
Then you got to talk to... Yeah.
No, the guy next to me...
I cannot defend someone else's...
Yeah.
Right. I think he's more offended by Shakaraj.
Well,
You're more offended.
well, you have to...
I'm not offended. It's an eye-opener. It's an eye-opener. It's like, whoa, where'd that come from? Like, I don't know this guy. All he knows is the colour of my skin, perhaps. He might have seen 1 or 2 videos, I don't know. But
Is it conducive for black betterment to be seen as an anti-white movement? So then,
So black betterment isn't a movement, it's a practice. So meaning that a black person trying to look for other black people talking black issues. So if I make it a religion or a movement, then why it can be corrupted. Because all I need to do is fornicate with 100 million and then talk about it, and then they go, your movement's there, right? I mean, so
people already turn it to a movement whether you like it or not.
well, like I said, we are the colour of our skin. It's a way of being.